For our next question that's come up, I call these frequently asked questions, but they're not necessarily frequently asked, although I try to pick questions that I've seen often in the polyamorous and swinging world. This question is: my meta does not want my partner and I to have overnights. And this could be whatever. My meta doesn't want my partner and I to do X, Y, or Z. This is really important to me. What should I say to my meta, right? Or what should I do? Right. So this is an issue where, first of all, let's define some terms in polyamory. First of all, I noticed they use polyamorous terms, not swinging terms. And that'd be a totally different answer in the swinging community. Because in the swinging community, remember, the primary partnership, right, that primary relationship is the priority. And so whatever those people want in that relationship usually takes priority because that's the kind of relationship you're entering into. So if you're dating somebody who's in a swinging world, and you're having a relationship with them, your relationship with them does come secondary in many ways to that primary relationship and what that primary relationship wants. But that's only in swinging, and that's what you consent to in the swinging world. In the polyamorous world, you have autonomous relationships with individuals. So if your metamour, so meaning your partner, the person you're seeing or dating or in a relationship with, their other partner says, I don't want you to do whatever, right? Maybe it's, I don't want you to have unprotected sex, or I don't want you to have overnights in this case, or I don't want you to use the word love to describe your relationship, or whatever it might be. I would say that you don't have an issue with your metamour. You have an issue with your partner. And in polyamory, you are dealing with your partner, what you want to do, and you're talking to your partner. If your partner doesn't want to do that, well, then that's an issue with your partner. And your partner may want to do that, may, for whatever reason, say, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't want to do this. But it's really not about your meta. Now, your partner may have issues with their other partner, right? Your partner might need to tell their partner, hey, I need you to stop trying to control my other relationships. Hey, I need you to have autonomy here. I understand you might be having some sort of feelings that I can help with, but you can't control my other relationships. That's something your partner might need to do. But you have an issue with your partner, and you don't need to, it's not about your meta in that case. It's about your partner. Now, if your partner is not able to meet your needs, and if your partner is constantly kowtowing to what your meta wants, or maybe even not constantly, but if they're just occasionally doing it and you're not happy with that, you might say, I need autonomy in my relationship. You may ask also to not hear about what your meta is asking for. You might say, well, look, I understand that you're having these problems, but it's difficult for me to hear about them. I know that that my meta, your other partner, doesn't want us to do these things, but when you're telling me about them, it feels like it's putting them on me, and I'm not comfortable being in that situation. So I think you should talk to somebody else and get support with your other relationship. But for me and you, I'm just telling you, I want to have an overnight, or I want to be fluid bonded, to not use certain types of contraception. I want to do whatever, and then you tell me, partner, what you want or don't want, and you take ownership of that. And this is a very difficult place to be when you're a hinge, it's called, meaning you have two separate partners, and these two partners are not partners with each other, but one of them says, hey, I don't want you to do something, and the other one wants to do it, and you have to figure out what you want to do. So yes, the best practice is not to say, oh, I'd really love to have an overnight, but my other partner says no. It's really not the best practice. You're the one choosing not to have an overnight. And that might be okay. There may be reasons for that. You may want to give one partner time to adjust to a new relationship. So, if you're especially new and opening up, going on a week-long vacation with a new partner might be really tough for your previous partner that you have in an established relationship. So, you may not want to do that. You may say, I don't want to go on a week-long vacation for you, with you right now. But rather than blaming your other partner and saying, well, she doesn't want me to do it, she doesn't like it, take ownership of it and say, I've decided I don't think it's a good idea for me right now. Now, obviously, you don't want to be in a situation where you're constantly covering things up for one partner for the other, and you're constantly sort of pretending like your one partner's okay when they're really not. You don't want to be dishonest in your relationships, but you don't have to constantly bring another partner into what you're saying with your other partner. So I would encourage the hinge to take responsibility. Um, it's okay to make some adjustments. It's okay to take your time with things. It's okay to give your partner time to adjust. But ultimately, as a hinge, you need to have the autonomy to have the kinds of relationships you want. And your partner needs to deal with their feelings. Both your partners need to deal with their feelings on their own and be able to ask you for what they want about your relationship, not to ask you to do this and that and the other with other relationships.